Good evening, Internet, and welcome back to Bloodstone, a 5th edition D&D campaign set in the Forgotten Realms. I am your Dungeon Master, 8BitPonies, and I have with me my friends, all of whom are here. You can't see Vamp slash Makaria, but I assure you he is here. He's just in the process of moving and hasn't set up his new, hasn't got his setup quite ready yet, so he is off cam for the evening. Souls, I think that the extra background noise might be coming from you, maybe a monitor or something. Yeah, appreciate it. It's been a couple weeks since we've been here. Unfortunately, during the summertime, it takes a little. Summertime takes a little bit of a toll on all of us. It's been a bit difficult to get everybody around the table, even virtually. But we are back tonight. Very happy to be back. Very excited to resume the scene, and we'll get right into that here just very momentarily. Just a heads up. This week's stream schedule is going to be a little truncated once again. Thursdays stream and Friday's stream should go off without much of a hitch. There's a possibility that Friday's stream will be a little, one of the 2 days stream will be a little off. But Saturday is once again going to be canceled. I have family things going on, have family visiting from out of town, and we will not be streaming at all on Saturday evening this week. So, sad day. But do join us on Thursday and or Friday this week for some more exciting Apocalypse action. Anything any of you guys want to add? Anything? Any announcements or anything like that? Nothing? No. Okay, cool. All right, just figured I'd ask. All right, anyway, we will dive right into the action here in just a moment. But first, when last we left our intrepid group of adventurers, the party was together once again after a nearly disastrous jaunt out to the Shadow's Rest. The party had attracted the attention of the Wardens of the White Tree, an Inquisition-style sect or chapter of the Bloodstone military that is intended to root out fiendish and specifically demonic presence within the Bloodstone Kingdom. Demonic presence and or influence. Given that Makaria, during the outing of part of the party out to the Shadow's Rest, having cast a charm spell, or rather a suggestion spell, on the Captain Leif Geribald of the Wardens of the White Tree, the attention of that particular group was settled firmly on Eldrick and his companions, even though Eldrick was not actually there at the time. He was instead being impersonated by Sprout, which was a split-second decision made by by Draugg and company, and the party did their investigation and got out, but it was not long after they had escaped from the Shadow's Rest that a message was brought to Oakheart, the party's current home base, that the Wardens had some questions for the Baron Oks and would be visiting shortly after after sunrise. A small squad of Wardens arrived exactly as they said they would, and the audience/interview was short and to the point. The idea or the possibility that the Queen, Christine Dragonsbane, had either been present or had been impersonated at the meeting that led to the fracas at the Shadow's Rest
I'm gonna step away for a second. A kid got hurt, apparently.
Sure. Got the attention of the wardens and the Captain Gerbald had to immediately go and report that information to his superiors, leaving behind the Ilmatari priest assistant or adjutant that he had brought with him, one Jaffet Bogdan, who, when we left off last time, the sort of cliffhanger that ended the previous session was Master Bogdan, or Painbearer Bogdan, asking Eldrick point blank, where is she? Where is the witch that attempted to enchant Captain Gerbald? Given that Souls has just walked away,
Perfect timing.
Absolutely. Always is, right? But the dad...
He did it for dramatic pause, obviously.
Dad duties come first. Thoros'l, you weren't with us last time. Do you have any questions about the previous session or anything that you may have missed?
No, I got filled in by Souls, so I think I'm good.
You were very active, let's just say that.
Yeah, usual. Looking menacingly.
There's a couple of grunts going on there.
I'll ask then, Makaria, as you're listening to all this from your hiding place behind the door in your invisible state, is there any reaction that you have to this, to any of this?
I would chuckle and laugh a little bit in my invisible state, just from behind the door, or from in the hallway, I should say.
That's why we can't see you. You're actually invisible.
Yes.
Yep, and right outside in the non-divination section.
Okay, well...
You can lie to your heart's content.
My apologies then, as without Eldrick here to answer the question, we're just kind of in a holding pattern.
Because even if Makaria shows herself, I'm sure Eldrick needs to be there.
Eldrick sort of needs to be present for that.
Yeah.
Do we know or recognize any of the captains that are present, other than the former captain, Gerbald, before he ran away?
You do recall seeing, well, so there's only two soldiers remaining, or two figures remaining in the study. The dwarf, whose name is
Dirk Ironfist.
That's the one. Dirk Ironfist. Dirk Ironfist left with Captain Gerbald.
Okay.
Darius Zvonimir and Jaffet Bogdan are still on station. Neither of them have moved from their... Actually, I have Darius in the wrong spot, as he was essentially watching this door. And whenever Gerbald and Ironfist left, in quite a hurry, I might add, neither of the two others made any move, other than for Bogdan to sit down in the chair that was left vacated by Gerbald.
And Darius is the one who is Darius or Jaffet the one who's asking the question?
Jaffet is the one asking the question. He is the one that's very clearly kitted out in the robes and skull cap of a cleric of Ilmater. He also wears a breastplate, and he also has in addition to the sigil, the twin bound hands of Ilmater on his breastplate. He also has the badge denoting that he is a member of the Wardens of the White Tree, the golden shield with the silver scales set atop the outline of the White Tree.
I'm curious the facial expressions that Darius is giving as soon as that question comes out. I'm curious how he's looking, if he's looking more tense, or if he's looking more curiosity, or more menacing, or reaffirming, or if there's a unity between them or whatnot. I'm also trying to kill time by asking questions.
I appreciate that. Yeah, no, you're definitely filling time, and I appreciate the attempt. But Darius doesn't really make any additional move. Um, he has essentially kept an eye on the four of you remaining in the room, but his expression really hasn't changed much. He's not like he has a weapon. His large battle hammer is slung across his back. He hasn't made any move for it or anything like that. Even in the tensest moments of the previous conversation, the argument between Eldrick um, and Gerbald, he didn't make a move. Neither did the dwarf, but Iron Fist. But the two of them appear to be, fairly used to this kind of thing.
Okay.
He doesn't appear that tense, honestly. He looks pretty comfortable in his role, if nothing else. And he just appears to be, like I said before, just keeping an eye on the four of you, making sure that nobody makes any sudden moves, and is clearly there to support his superiors.
Okay.
Well, perfect timing as always, souls.
He's gonna lose DP for this.
20 DKP minus for Eldrick. I guess as an extra reminder, Sprout, before you got back, or before you came to Oakhart, you had just recently returned from an outing with the rest of your party, but very specifically had sent Muckleberry, your new kind of companion or retainer or whatever, in order out to follow the purple-decked carriage full of people, and you were planning on meeting him back at the inn late in the evening or late in the morning, I guess, or later in the morning to figure out what he had found. So obviously that's not happening right now because we're in the middle of something else, but that is just in case you had forgotten, that is still a thing.
I had not forgotten.
Great.
But thank you for the reminder, because I'm curious if he found anything.
Now that we have Eldrick back.
Yep, sorry about that. One of my little guys was bleeding.
Oh no. Everything okay?
Yeah. Bloody nose, he's fine.
Sad day.
Super glue.
Yeah, I don't know, 12 rounds of 4-year-old bare knuckle boxing apparently.
Sounds great.
Still bleeding? Question mark.
Shouldn't be.
Okay.
Wasn't when I left his room. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway.
If it happens again, take the upper lip, fold it up, and then push it up against the underside of your nose. That actually cuts the blood off and allows the blood to stop so that it can stop bleeding quickly.
Is this a for real thing or are you fucking with me?
It's a for real thing. I use it all the time.
I'll take your word for it. I'll give that a try if it happens again. All right, the thing. Back to the thing.
Back to the action, or at least the pending action, perhaps. When we left off, and right before Souls skipped his office to go take care of a little bleeding guy, the reminder was given that the Captain Gerbald and Durek Iron Fist absconded with information that they had to go and report from your earlier conversation, leaving behind Japhet Bogdan, the cleric of Ilmater, and a Sergeant Darius Zivanamir, who is essentially just watching the cleric's back. And in a very accusatory tone, the pain-bearer, Japhet Bogdan, asked point-blank Eldrick, "Where is she? Where is the witch that attempted to enchant Captain Gerbald?"
She is here on the grounds. I would say that she did not attempt to enchant him. She unfortunately did enchant him.
Explain yourself. What What is the nature of your relationship with this fiend?
Makaria is an advisor from Candlekeep who was brought back by Mr. Alanere here to aid us in some arcane research. She has traveled with us for a bit of time and has ventured into the Underdark with us, where we faced off against an evil goddess named Thoros'l. Makaria was quite vital to our efforts defeating the evil goddess.
So you do not deny that you are in league with a fiend?
I do not deny that I have I believe they're called Tieflings in my midst. Yes.
These Tieflings are known to us. They often bear the taint of one of the in their bloodline of denizens of the lower planes. It is
That does seem to be the case.
It's unclear upon at least our initial encounter with this one whether her deformity originates from the infernal plane or the abyssal, but it matters not. One so very clearly tainted by fiendish ancestry or fiendish lineage cannot be trusted. Explain, did you give her the order? Did you give this Makaria the order to enchant Captain Geribald? Did she do it at your on your order?
Certainly not. It was a bit of unfortunate improvising. As I explained to the captain while you were here, I suspected that he would, once the whole story had been told, which it has now, that the reason for the ruse would be apparent.
This will have to be reported up through the wardens.
I absolutely suspect it will be.
Can you produce the witch?
I suspect she's listening to this conversation. She may not be, but I suspect if we ask
she is.
nicely. Oh well, there we go. I suspect she would be more than happy to come speak with us if you would like.
Was that actually Makaria's voice coming from behind the door?
Yes, it was.
Then, as you were keeping a close eye on things, Sprout, you see at her voice sounding from behind the door, the hammer wielding fellow standing in front of that door turns and reaches for his hammer and goes for the door and goes to open it. He wrenches the door open with his weapon drawn, and I assume he sees nothing. Is that correct?
I am still invisible.
My friend, you can put that down. You will have no need of that here, I assure you.
Thoros'l's ready. He loosens his swords a little bit, but doesn't draw.
The hammer-wielding Zvonimir looks to Bogdan, who has not taken his eyes off of Eldrick, but he gives a very short nod, realizing that he's being looked to for orders. And Zvonimir lowers his weapon, doesn't put it away, but lowers it and takes a step away from the doorway. What is this, Eldrick? Or what is this, Master Oks?
Like most wizards, she is not one to be seen when unneeded. Although I guess in the case of the tower, that's not the case, as most of them tend to be upfront in your face and very flashy. So I guess uncharacteristically of a mage, she is more out of sight. Makaria, would you come join us, please? I think Mr. Bogdan here has some questions for you. Or Warden. Sorry, Warden Bogdan.
Makaria will drop invisibility and walk through the threshold just smiling and beaming. It's a relatively simple spell. Most people are able to figure it out.
The hammer-wielding soldier watches you very closely, but he doesn't make any further moves. He looks at you very stone-faced, and even Bogdan turns, and he doesn't exactly flinch whenever he sees you, but you can see his frown, which is already has been pretty plastered on his face. Whenever he actually lays eyes on you, there's the look of recognition, and his frown deepens. What do you do?
I will walk to stand either beside Eldrick, or if he was motioning to a chair, to go towards the chair.
Okay. So we'll say that you just walk across and take the chair between Eldrick and the cleric. He watches you the whole way as you walk through. His eyes kind of flit to Eldrick to see Eldrick's reaction to the whole thing. He's very conscious of the other three members of the party in the room, though the three of you are a little bit out of the way. Zvonimir steps up next to Bogdan and stands closer. Hammer still in hand, but not exactly in a ready position. But he's definitely not going to put it away.
Well, sirs, I assure you, you have nothing to worry about in my home.
That remains to be seen, Baron. This one, of your own admission, has already employed her dark art against one of our own, which is no small thing. Until the wardens deem otherwise, she is considered dangerous.
That's understandable.
And you by association.
Sure. Let me reassure you that had we meant you harm, you would have never known she was here, and no one would have ever known you were here. So please dissuade this idea that I am in any way dangerous to you. We have been completely truthful with you with everything that you have asked of us.
Will this one, and he continues to address Eldrick, though his eyes are on Makaria, will you submit this one for questioning at our headquarters? There are many who will likely have questions for her.
Makaria raises one of her hands and finger. Why are you talking to him about questioning me?
Yeah, I assure you, you will need to get her consent for that. I certainly will not stop her, and he's going to look to Makaria, and would counsel that she assist you in your investigation, but she's no slave of mine.
The cleric grinds his teeth, and he turns to...
Again, she is an advisor from Candlekeep.
Indeed. You see that he feels a great deal of distaste, if not outright disgust, in addressing you directly, Makaria, but he does. Says, then, will you, at the recommendation of your companion, accompany us to headquarters for questioning?
No. But I would be more than happy to sit here over a cup of tea and answer any question you would like.
His face starts to turn an ugly shade of red, as it's very clear that he's trying to fight down some well, at the very least, anger.
As he's choking down what I'm sure is a very biting response, Eldrick will say, if you need to procure additional resources from the wardens, the manor is at your disposal for such a meeting. Should you decide that it needs to, that it requires additional personnel from the wardens.
How very gracious, Baron Oaks. We will, for the moment, take our leave, but you can expect that additional contact from the warden's hierarchy will be made. While this conversation may be at its end, do not doubt that this is not the end for you. You requested my presence after the captain left. Have I satisfied your request? Or have you more for me?
I have nothing more for you. You simply looked like you had more questions to ask, and I would not have had you deprived of the answers.
In due time, you can be assured, all will be revealed. But for now, he stands to his feet, gives a very, very slight bow, looks at Makaria once again. Until you are summoned further, do not attempt to leave Heliogabalus. Doing so will reflect poorly upon yourself and your companions. He turns and he walks out the door, and the hammer-wielding soldier follows him out.
Well, Eldrick's going to go to see them out. I'm attempting to find a name that I can't find. Who was the lady who was the head of the church that came and visited me?
Lana Beeling.
Lana Beeling?
Yeah, the high pain bearer.
All right. Well, as he's leaving, I assume they're getting on horses or getting ready to go at the gate with some wagon or some such. Eldrick will make sure to get Mr. Bogdan's attention, and he'll extend a hand in friendship.
The cleric makes no effort or no motion to take your hand.
All right. Well, he's a pain bearer, right?
He is.
Warden pain bearer.
Yes.
Yeah. I understand, pain bearer, that you don't trust this. I probably wouldn't if I was in your position as well. If you asked the high pain bearer Beeling, she might be able to shed some light on me to you. And if you ask Ilmater, I suspect he will do the same. We fight the same fight, my friend, and I'm here to aid any way with which I can.
Make a persuasion check.
Do love persuasion checks, contrary to what last session proved out with my fantastical knot rolls. Oh my god, why is the text on my computer so tiny? That would be a 15 total, so not the best, but not terrible like last time.
He looks down at you from atop the horse that he's mounted, and his expression doesn't soften, but he does favor you with a very curt nod. May your struggles be brief until we meet again.
You as well, brother.
Be assured that Ilmater's grace and the light of the Triad will unveil all. And if you are as you say, and as you seem to believe, then all will be revealed. All will be well.
I have no worries that will be the case. I wish you the best.
He turns his horse and begins the not a turn and gallop away, but a quick trot, and the soldier next to him gives you a nod and a salute, which is a hand across the chest, like right hand across the chest, like up to the left shoulder, with two fingers out, which is the standard Bloodstone Army salute.
I give him a nod and return the salute.
And they ride away. What do you do next?
Well, I'm gonna head back inside to powwow with my fantastic furry friends.
Durban Holy meets you, effectively lurking just within the doorway as you turn to go back up. Is there?
Well, I think that went well.
He doesn't smile. Is there aught we should be prepared for?
If the wardens come, we should be prepared to be as how to put this, as compliant as we can, without allowing them undue access to the house. Certainly, mother and father's property is not theirs. But if they wish a meeting and they wish to question me or Makaria, then certainly I think that is easily arrangeable.
He gives a nod.
But as we're walking back to the meeting room where everybody else is, Eldrick will look to Mr. Holy, Master Holy. I suspect we have one or two outcomes from this. Possibly three. Either A, the captain is quite upset about the ruse and wishes to follow the letter of the law, in which case he probably wants to arrest some of my friends. Not sure what I'm going to do in that particular instance. B, he comes back to let us assist him in his investigation of the events that we spoke to him about. Or C, that very surly cleric comes back to get Makaria. I'm really hoping for B. What's your read on those men?
He pauses for a moment and is thoughtful, and you guys are proceeding up the stairs. It is wise to not draw the attention of the wardens at all. But since you've already done that,
I think we've flubbed that one, certainly. Quite spectacularly, I would add.
I think your handling of the situation was adequate.
That's high praise from you, my friend.
He almost smiles. Again, not looking at you as you're walking up the stairs together, just a half pace behind, and keeping his eyes on ahead. The very picture of a deferent servant. That being said, if there are if there's any advice that you require in dealing with this Captain Gerbald, or if there are any preparations that you require that we make either on behalf of yourself or your companions in the eventuality that the wardens return, we will do what we can. There is might I suggest your companions may be more comfortable in different accommodations prior to the celebration tomorrow. There is much going on here, and the noise alone, the hustle and bustle as we prepare, may make it difficult for them to achieve the necessary rest to be prepared and fresh for tomorrow evening.
Excellent advice, Master Oli. I will chat with them and see where they would like to position themselves in that front. But certainly I understand.
Then I shall leave you to your guests. And he gives a bow and stops and allows you to move forward. And after you've probably mounted the remaining stairs and got to the landing, he will give another small bow and turn and walk the other direction and resume his duties. So you make it back to the room where everybody else is sitting or standing or, I don't know, climbing the walls by this point. Maybe Thoros'l, I don't know. What's up? What do you do?
Well,
They seemed like a cheery lot.
Warden Bogdan is quite the surly fellow, I would say. But rightly so. He is in an odd position because of us, certainly. Well, don't suspect. I think it probably is best that the rest of you return to the inn. I don't know that it is advisable for you, Makaria, to leave the manor, however.
Well, I mean, if he couldn't even understand an invisibility spell, how would he even know if I left?
Well, certainly I don't intend to hold you against your will. You've gotten this far on your own. However, I would think that getting arrested in the middle of the night in your inn room would probably not be something you would be super keen on. What are your thoughts?
That's true. I would probably need to at least send a message to Makaria so that she joins us here.
Has Eldrick met Makaria yet? I can't remember.
No.
Okay. Have I heard about her at all?
Probably not.
No.
I'm sorry, who now?
Just my companion that I made while I was here.
That you made. What does this companion look like?
Well, very similar to myself. A little bit different in complexion, but same attitude, same knowledge, and, well, a great conversationalist.
So
Thoros'l didn't seem that enthralled with their conversation.
the horned lady who is traveling with me, who the wardens suspect of being a demon-worshipping psychopath, created another demon-worshipping psychopath. I'm sure that's going to go over well in the questioning. Yeah, I guess you probably should invite her here. Although I do have a keen mind to keep the two of you away from my mother. Don't know that her heart could handle that. Anyway, but yes, if you are okay, I would recommend you stay in the guest room here, over there behind where you were just at.
If it please you, Baron, this is Kemet Narble, who is still in the room as well.
Yep.
We can take the carriage back to the inn and return your companions and pick up this other one.
I would greatly appreciate that.
Just say the word. We'll ready the carriage for whenever your
Yes,
companions decide to leave.
Please do make it so. I think they will be leaving shortly.
That's a dismissal if I've ever heard one.
Yep.
Get out of my house.
So the Narbles take off obviously with a bow to the Baron, and they go and do what they said that they would do.
Well, they're going to expect you guys down there for the carriage shortly. Alanere, anything that I missed in that conversation?
Oh, not that I can think of. Unfortunately, the warden seemed to be pretty singularly focused.
Painbearer Joffet certainly did, yes. The captain seemed a little more like he would work with us. We brought him information that he found quite useful, I suspect. The real question is going to be, can they verify whether or not the Queen is still around? Worst case scenario is they contact the Queen or somebody pretending to be the Queen, and we're in a whole world of trouble. Because I've been certain of few things as much as I am certain that they are not gonna believe our story changing to the Queen is an imposter. Maybe they will, but I don't suspect that's the case. So that might be a tricky situation.
Alanere did say that he wasn't entirely certain that the person that he saw in the basement of the Shadow's Rest was in fact Queen Christine. That he was he was definitely intended to think that, but he wasn't entirely certain.
No, absolutely. Eldrick's just not entirely sure that part of the conversation got through to the captain, so we'll see.
The captain seemed to have a better understanding of the severity and the priority of the situation, but that Painbearer guy didn't seem to flinch or care about or any other happenings. It seemed singularly focused on Makaria.
Same organization, different objectives, right? The captain, as part of the military, has other duties outside of his keep demons out of the country. The Painbearer is allowed to be fairly singularly focused, and certainly they're a big enough organization they can walk and chew gum at the same time. So
now, I am not entirely certain. I didn't even know the organization of the Wardens existed before now.
I don't know that most countries advertise their extrajudicial branches.
True, but I just don't know the pecking order. If they operate directly under the word of the king and queen, the royalty,
I'm sure they're
independent.
Well, nobody's independent of the crown. You just get extra leeway. You just get extra leeway.
If the crown is in fact compromised, then we're doubly screwed now.
Not necessarily. A order of individuals with great leeway who have the ability to determine the truth at will likely is going to be more cautious than your standard military officers. If they even get a whiff that the top of their chain of command is doing something fishy, I suspect they will be more likely to look into that. But yes, if the Queen is an imposter currently, that would be very difficult for us.
I mean, it seemed to me they had a hard time believing us even under the effects of their truth spell. I don't think the truth is really what they're aiming for.
I don't think the captain had a hard time believing that we believe what we told him. I think the captain might have thought we were at another game, perhaps, but we'll see. Thoros'l, you were obviously incredibly riveted by the conversation which just occurred here. Do you have any thoughts on the matter?
Just waiting to see what happens, I suppose. Hey, do you want just Makaria here with you? He'll look at Makaria. And her new spawn.
I think there's little to worry about, Thoros'l. But if you would also like to stay as chaperone, I would not deny you.
Yes, you never know when you need a visit from a family friend.
Well, whatever you think, Eldrick. If you think that having Makaria and this Makaria with you, I've met Makaria. Up to you.
Not a fan.
Yeah, no, I think we're good. Plus, it wouldn't hurt my feelings if the dinner is tomorrow night. Yes.
Correct. You've got about 36 hours.
All right. It would not hurt my feelings if you all could do a little snooping around the central district and perhaps do more looking into that very weak attempted assassination. There's a lot going on in this city that has me worried. In fact, tomorrow I might make a venture out to speak to the captain's superior if I can arrange a meeting. Would probably not be a bad idea. Anyway, I believe the carriage is waiting for you all.
All right.
And
I guess we will
I
see
believe
you at
some
the
of you.
party?
Absolutely. I believe some of you have a tab to ring up.
Yep. Certainly be cheaper to keep us here at the manor.
Don't know that I agree with that.
Challenge accepted.
I think we can double it tonight.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
All right, you all have a good night. Real quick, I gotta run up and check on the boys because they were losing their minds a second ago. Sorry.
So, the party, well, 3 members of the party, along with the Narvals, will hop a carriage, closed carriage. The shutters are drawn for privacy's sake, back to the Bloodstone Arms. Upon arrival, the Narval brothers will look to you, Alanere, and say, "Would you like for us to come to wait with the carriage, or come with you to retrieve this Makaria?"
Are you to me?
To you.
He'll say it's probably better if you just stay with the carriage.
As you wish. Is there anything else that you require before we head back?
No. I will go in and get Makaria or Makaria for you.
Very much appreciated, my lord. And whenever you guys get inside the inn proper, Sprout, you immediately notice that, well, it is just a little bit. It's probably maybe an hour and a half now after sunrise. So, obviously, Muckleberry is seated at a table in the common room, absolutely stuffing himself, and he hasn't yet noticed you come in. He is so engrossed with what he is doing, he hasn't yet seen you. What are you guys doing?
Thoros'l's gonna go get breakfast, I guess, some sort of pastry.
And Alanere will head up to Makaria/Mykaria's room.
You
Door should be easy to get into.
I was going to say, you immediately notice that once you get up to Makaria's room, that it looks like the locking mechanism, or the doorknob mechanism for her door has been damaged.
I kicked her out last time I was here.
You did.
You did.
You threw her out.
And I gave strict instructions not to let her back in, so we'll see where that went.
Exactly.
Remember, she is still a wizard.
That's correct.
All right, I will just go ahead. I'll do like a knock on the door first.
All right. So you do so, and you find that it is in fact ajar, as the mechanism, the door itself doesn't actually physically close anymore.
That was the
Alright,
door,
so-
not ajar.
As I kind of knock and the door kind of goes open, I'll kind of like almost slowly push open, be like, "Hello, Makaria, are you here?"
Is Makaria
Yes,
there?
just reading.
Oh. You hear
In the dark.
You hear what sound? The room is dark, despite the fact that it is, probably close to 10th bell at this point in time. There is a window, but it's the window faces to the west, and so it is in shadow of the building itself. So that there's not a whole lot of light that's filtering in just yet. But it's just so gloomy, not dark, but gloomy. And you do hear Makaria's voice come back out of the room.
I must miss it. What does she say?
What did she say?
Oh, she said, "Here, just reading."
Makaria needs your presence.
Oh, of course. And she'll walk out of the broken door, or out of the room, I guess.
Say, if you follow me, I'll lead you to a carriage that will take you to her.
You haven't seen Makaria before either, have you, Alanere? I don't think you have.
I don't think I have.
Yeah, so you get a little bit of a shock. Number one, whenever she's coming out of the gloom of the room, it looks like Makaria. It looks almost exactly like Makaria, except where Makaria has kind of a reddish brown skin, and kind of darker reddish brown horns and black hair. This person is entirely like a dusky gray skin, and whenever you see her in the light of the interior of the building, it's very clear that the kind of tracery of kind of purplish veins beneath her skin it's all very, very unsettling. Black teeth, black horns, black hair, black eyes, and this very unhealthy looking pallid gray skin with purplish veins visible beneath.
Ooh,
Yep, and Eldrick said, "Come on over." And he said,
Oh.
"Send her my way."
Makaria, before you head out there, do you mind if I sort of give you a magical disguise so your form doesn't scare people before you reach Makaria?
Oh, no, of course not. If that's what you think is needed.
I do think it is needed. I very much so think it is needed.
And she'll just kind of put up her hood a little bit timidly, like a, does this help kind of thing.
No. Here, you mind if I cast a magical disguise on you?
You may.
I'm going to cast polymorph to turn her into a human.
Oh, okay. Would Makaria resist?
She was aware that the spell is being cast, so no.
Okay. So, describe for me then, Alanere, what the new Makaria looks like.
All right. So the new Makaria actually, or at least a polymorph version of her, basically looks almost like she keeps the same like facial features almost, except like the horns would disappear, like her veins would not be popping out on black. Her skin kind of takes on a more like natural like tanned color. Eyes probably take a bit more of like a human shape. And it's more or less trying to make her look she looks a bit more plain as a human that doesn't stand out.
Okay. Alright, so you finish your spell. She changes. A plainer, more human-looking Makaria, I guess. And okay, that's what you've got.
He says, "There, this version will only look like this until as long as I maintain the spell, which should be more than long enough for you to get to Makaria."
I mean, I hope she's not too far. I thought she was only going to the Baron's place.
That's where she's at.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay, so the two of you head back downstairs and out to the carriage.
Yes.
And the the brothers look very guarded whenever you first like step out together, but then they relax visibly. They were very clearly not sure what to expect. This group has, we'll say, exceeded expectations or defied expectations at pretty much every turn, and so if you had walked out of there with a beholder, they probably wouldn't have been terribly surprised, or a green dragon or something of that nature. But they look, I don't know, maybe pleasantly surprised, or at least pleasantly underwhelmed with Makaria's appearance, and they are very cordial. They invite you into the wagon and give you, Alanere, their thanks, and say, we'll ferry her directly to Oakheart and into the custody or into the care of the Baron. If there is anything that you require, all you need to do is send a runner with a message to Oakheart, and if we need to return with the carriage, we shall.
All right. Fair warning. This companion does normally look just like Makaria does. I have simply just given her a little disguise for the trip. So if she changes back, don't be surprised.
Alanere, please do not lie. I am not as resplendent as Makaria.
The two kind of share a knowing look and a little bit of a smile, and one of you lot asking us to not be surprised is like asking water not to be wet. But we appreciate the warning. And thank you.
You're welcome. I will give you enough time, about the time it took us to get from the manor here, and then afterwards I will drop the disguise.
He nods.
But that should give you plenty of time to get behind closed doors.
Then we will away and straight back to Oakheart. Once again, give you a short bow, and then the other Narble, Lars, is driving the carriage. So Kemet steps up onto the kind of the running board or the rail just outside of the carriage itself, at the door, and they take off.
All right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably like wait about as much time as it took us to get here, and then maybe give it another 5 minutes or so before I drop my concentration.
Okay. Then you go back inside the Bloodstone Arms, and Thoros'l is grabbing breakfast. Sprout, I assume, is grabbing breakfast as well and going to join Muckleberry.
Oh, yes. I'm going to grab breakfast, join Muckleberry, and say that we should eat breakfast before we abscond to my room, and we can discuss matters in private.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I report better on a full stomach anyway. Glad to see you back. I was a little bit alarmed whenever you weren't here whenever I returned, but you know, it is with well, I know you're busy and lots of things happening, but hope you don't mind. I went ahead and got breakfast for you as well, and then I ate it. But I can always get more.
Eat to your heart's content right now. I will grab some more breakfast.
Ooh, that's a dangerous proposition, but I'll certainly try. So what's been going on, or do you want to wait until
Let's wait until we are in a more auditorially secure location.
Oh, we're back to being all secretive. Okay. Oh, sure. Well, do you want to take this to go? We can go on up.
No, I want to eat here. I'm hungry. Dang it.
Well, all right. Well, you don't have to get all tetchy about it. I'm
hungry.
Did you didn't sleep so well, did you?
No, I have not actually slept. Not much.
Well,
not worth anything.
You really should take better care of yourself. You're not going to do any good for yourself or for anyone else, including you know who, if you're exhausted and cranky all the time.
That's a valid point, and I will take your advisement into consideration.
Is Thoros'l joining in this, or are you just going to get food and stick around on your own?
No, I mean, I'm fine. Just sitting down in the bottom floor, eating my pastry and thinking about the day ahead.
Right.
Thoros'l's noticeably a little on edge and kind of, miffed about this whole situation. Like, all of these things could have been avoided. And gonna chew some half-stale old dinner roll or something and wash it down with ale and be bitter for a little while.
Okay. Sounds about right.
Isn't that your normal?
No. This is more like agitated, less angry. There's a difference.
He's on the spectrum of angry still, but not enraged. Not quite on the enraged side.
More frustration. Yeah.
All right. There's something seems off to you, Thoros'l, as you're sitting there largely by yourself. You can hear Sprout and Muckleberry kind of going at each other a little bit, over breakfast, just the standard, kind of chat back and forth. And that grates on your nerves a little bit too, but there's just something just doesn't seem right. You're more on edge than usual. It's like your nerves are just very, very thin right now. Everything that's gone on the last couple of days, the fact that you didn't really get much of an opportunity to rest last night, not that that's ever necessarily been, or not that is not an occupational hazard given where you've been and what you've been doing for the last 6 months, but something in particular, you find yourself kind of even more on edge than usual. Just maybe it's hyper awareness, maybe it's paranoia, but either way, you're just not. You feel like something's wrong. Something is definitely not right. You just can't put your finger on what.
I'll while I'm half listening to this inane conversation going on nearby, I'll scan the deeper corners of the area. I guess there's like tap room, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a large kind of tap room, half dining room. And
yeah.
I mean, you've been here for 3 days already, I guess, and so you're familiar enough with the place. It's virtually empty, and that almost never happens. You and Sprout and Muckleberry, and maybe a handful, like maybe 2 or 3 other patrons sitting alone, also having breakfast, but not anywhere near the life that is usually in this this tap room at this time of day. It's late for breakfast, sure, but there's always a flurry of activity here. And even Lazar, Lazar at the bar, he seems a little subdued. Not like wary or looking suspicious or anything like that, but he's a pretty I can't think of the word. Outgoing character. He's very much an outgoing character, and whenever you guys came in, he nodded in your direction, but barely even looked up from the bar.
Are the other people in the room regulars, like people that I've seen here before, or new faces? Or...
Make an intelligence check, I guess, just a flat intelligence check.
10.
You don't recognize any of them, but then again, you don't pay a whole lot of mind to people that you don't know. They don't look especially dangerous, but they also don't look familiar.
I'll take my stale dinner roll and warm ale and walk up to the bar and sit there and look at Lazar, see if he reacts.
It takes him a full 5-6 seconds, and as you get up a little bit closer to him, he looks tired, really tired, like dark circles under his eyes. I'm sorry, my lord, or master, or you're the Thoros'l, right? Friend of the Baron. What is it I can get you?
Nothing. What's the nighttime guy's name?
What is the nighttime guy's name? It is Marcus.
Did I see Marcus when I came in
You did not.
the previous night? No.
No, Lazar was on duty. Lazar is usually the nighttime guy, but here he is.
And so Marcus should be in.
Marcus is the daytime guy, yeah.
And he's apparently not here for a shift.
He's not currently here.
Okay. Have you seen Marcus this morning?
He stayed in bed. A lot of folks not feeling well this morning. Half my staff didn't come in this morning. Or half the staff. I guess they're not my staff. Just something going around, I guess. Why did you ask? You everything okay?
You just seem tired.
He kind of flashes you a little bit of a smile, but it's weak. He's like, "Well, thank you. That's exactly what a man wants to hear." You want to buy me a drink?
The Baron would.
He's like, "Well, I was kidding, but if that's the case, can I pour you one too?" It's after 10th bell. and then the bells start to ring for 10th bell. Close enough.
Yep, another. Why not?
He'll top yours off and then produce one for himself. He's like, I never do this, but then again, I never have to work double shifts either, and not for years. But you know what? We've earned it. And he'll clink his tankard against yours, like, to your health.
I'll nod and take a drink.
So if you don't mind my asking, I don't take this the wrong way, but how in the hell did you ever get tied up with somebody like Eldrick Oks?
Well, it's a long story. Let's say about half a year ago, the new, soon-to-be Baron Oaks wasn't much more than a young knight looking to make his chops, and I guess I helped him along the way.
I've heard that story 100 times. He, is he as green as he looks?
At least.
You won't tell him I said so.
Yeah, I tell him as much every chance I get, so you wouldn't be the first.
I suppose you've known him for longer than he's been the high muckety muck around here. What's he like? Like, like really like. In his cups, what's he like?
Oh, about the same.
Oh hell, that's disappointing. You learn a lot about a man when you watch him drink, and really watch him drink. And if he's as wound as tight in his cups as he seems whenever he walks around here with his carriages and his proclamations and his gold spends just as well as anybody's, I suppose. But man, that's a damn shame. How you do it?
Draugg. He's not that bad, truth be told. He's just worried you'll make a mistake. Pretty soon he'll learn that that's pretty much unavoidable. Biggest thing is to keep moving forward.
That is truth. That is truth. The stories about him true? There's a again, you didn't hear this from me, but there's a bard that I've had him in here a couple of times, but he sings this song, and if you haven't heard it, I'll have to try to find this guy while you're still here. But it's the ballad of what's the name of it again? Damn it, I'm really not cut out for this day and night shit. Elric the Unready. The Ballad of Elric the Unready. Have you heard that? I
don't think I have.
It's a knee slapper, and if I'm not mistaken, well, I saw him do this. I saw shit, I can't remember the guy's name. I saw the guy, the bard, do this Elric the Unready, and I swear to the gods, whenever he does it, and he does the whole kit up, right? It's your friend. He's singing. I would swear to the gods, the song is about your friend. I understand he grew up around here, or he's got family in the area, or something like that. Yeah. So, Ognen's the guy's name. Ogden Gale. I'll have to try to rustle him up. I haven't heard from him in a little while, but if I can get him in here, I want you to hear this song, because this is, well, anyway, you just have to see it for yourself. Yeah, he does the whole 9 yards, the whole get up and everything, and I swear he's wearing an oak tree on his tabard whenever he does it. So, but again, you didn't hear it from me. That's a damn. I just kind of hope he was, that if he was going to be Baron, then he's just kind of a regular Joe, like you and me. But if he if he doesn't change all that much, well, that tells you something, right?
We'll see once things settle. It's been kind of hectic, so it's hard to judge a man just on that.
I find that people really are simple. Either they put on a face, or they don't. But at their very basic, people are not that complicated.
That's something I'll definitely drink to.
I'm sorry, I've been talking your ear off. I should probably be doing some damn thing around here. But not like that we have any. Yeah. I'll be seeing you around, Thoros'l. Thanks for the drink and for the chat. And go ahead.
Tip his drink back and finish it and put it on the bar and start walking out.
He does the same. Finishes his drink, sets it on the bar, grabs both of the mugs, and then turns to go toward the back with both of them. And as he yawns as he's going, just a big. And when he lets out the sigh with it, it just seems to like take just all of the air out of him, and he looks as he's kind of disappearing through the door to probably the kitchen area, or at least behind the bar area. He just looks tired, just very, very tired, weary.
I'm gonna go. Thoros'l will go walk. Just kind of. He doesn't really have any goals or aims. He's already gotten his outfit ordered. He's got his equipment as best as he can. He's gonna just kind of wander, maybe find his way to the Starry Night at some point.
Okay.
But no rush. Meandering, checking out the scene of the would-be assassination. The message sent again, just to see if I get whispers.
Sure.
Moving along.
Okay. We'll
by myself.
Just by yourself, entirely on your own. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Didn't we ever talk about this going off on your own? Didn't we already have somebody do that to their detriment? This party might work.
Make me, Thoros'l, make me a Constitution saving throw.
I knew that was coming. I already pegged what's happening.
24.
Okay. You finish up your drink, watch Lazar take off behind the bar, and you kind of look around. You see that by now, Sprout and Muckleberry have already gone, probably back up to their room. Alanere, what did you do whenever you came back in?
I pretty much came back straight through the tap room and back up to my room because he needs rest.
So yeah, within so in a few minutes that you were talking to Lazar and having your drink, you look around. There's still a handful, of people that are still in the tap room, but none of your friends are. So you head out the door and onto your, I guess, late morning, early afternoon. We will go upstairs then to where Sprout and Muckleberry are. Breakfast is finished, though it takes a bit. Are you partaking of the mead, especially this morning, or are you?
No.
No. Okay. Muckleberry apparently has. He looks pretty tired too. By the way, he would, having been out a good portion of the night, and you learn that he didn't make it back until just maybe an hour or so, or just a few minutes after fourth bell. So he was out till a little after 4 a.m. And he was waiting up for you first, thinking that you would be back any minute. but then he found himself kind of nodding off a little bit, and then but he wasn't able to sleep. And then he went downstairs. Whenever he realized, as tired as he wasn't able to sleep. He went downstairs to get some breakfast. That's where he found you. 2 hours later.
Makes sense. Can't sleep, eat.
Yep. So, who goes first? Do you want me to tell you about what I found, or do you want to tell me about what you found? Or are we doing that?
Let's hear your tale first.
All right. Well, I guess first things first. I kept an eye on that thing that you asked me to. I guess we're up here now. There's not really any necessity to dissemble. I followed the carriage like you asked me to. And I can't find my notes on it, so I'm having some trouble deciding what exactly it was that I found. Nope, they're just not there. Where are they? There we go. So they drove around for a bit, and it was a little bit difficult for me to keep up because my legs aren't that long, and they had horses, and they were moving at a pretty good clip, but I didn't lose them. I promise you that. I did stick to them. It just took me a little bit. I wasn't able to get as close to the carriage as I would have liked until they stopped. They stopped outside a place called the Golden Feather. It has some reputation in town as being one of the nicer playhouses. And when the carriage stopped, there's 5 people inside. There's a girl that you saw, that you mentioned to me, the red-haired girl, and then there were 3 other women and 1 man, all prettied up like you wouldn't believe. I haven't seen a whole lot of haven't seen pretty girls like that in quite some time. Even here, they stood out a bit. One of them, you wouldn't believe it, but it was the Baroness herself, Baroness Sylvia, from the city of Spires down south, bit south of here.
Okay.
Which makes sense given that the sigil on the carriage was hers, Thoros'l. And then the 3 women that I didn't recognize, except for the one, the girl that you pointed out, and took me a little bit, but I got close enough to hear them talking before they went inside, and they kept calling the red-haired girl Miranda. Does that make sense?
I'm not sure.
Well, then there was 2 other girls that were really kind of hanging off the one. One was a brown-haired girl, and one was a blonde girl. And then there was a blonde fella who, he was gussied up too. And he was a pretty fella. And he took her by the arm, and when they all went inside, and even though they're traveling with this Baroness, they're all, the Baroness included, fawning over this Miranda. Not really sure. Well, I mean, I thought you might be interested in that. And then when they got there, and when they were getting ready to go inside, well, hell, there was like 4 or 5 other carriages, and almost maybe 40 other people just as gussied up as they were, and waiting for them. And there's this huge crowd goes in to the playhouse, and well, I figured that it maybe it was an invitation only sort of thing. So I didn't ask. I just snuck inside, and I figured you'd want to know what they were in there doing. And strange. I've always heard that Whispers of the Fae was supposed to be this amazing, magical, mystical, ethereal performance. I wasn't that impressed, to be quite honest. I I apologize, but I'm pretty sure I fell asleep about halfway through. Didn't really, well, it was uninspired. It's so very derivative. And the music, it was just all over the place. And these costumes, I don't even know, like, have these people ever even seen the Fae? Have they even met an elf before? I mean, you got a freaking elf fella following you, and the other guy didn't look anything like him. The guy on stage, this Eliandrel or whatever his name was, he didn't, like, his ears were like stuck out like a foot from his head. It's like whoever designed this thing never even saw an elf before. Well, I just wasn't impressed with the whole thing, I tell you. Unfortunately, apologies. Whenever I woke, well, they were all gone, so I didn't see where they went to after. I assume probably somewhere to drink away the unfortunate experience that they'd had at the theater. But
did you fall asleep through the entire thing, or did you
well,
wake
not the
up
whole
partway
thing.
through?
I'm sure.
Like,
I'm sure I made it
did
through
they
about
leave
half.
before the show was over?
Well, I can't say. I'm pretty sure I made it through about half the show, but I don't know how long I was out. And well, everything was over and the building was empty whenever I came to. So, I stopped off for a bite or two, and then made my way back here. And that was just after fourth bell, I guess. So, it's probably at least a couple hours that I missed there. Apologies. It was so boring. And it was a long day. You know, we did the whole thing trying to find out who tried to kill your friend, and well, I had a lot to eat and a little bit to drink before, and walking everywhere I went, and sneaking is always well, it's just so tiring. I'm sorry. Next time I'll do better. I promise. It just caught me a little off guard. I was expecting, this big, fanciful, and what was on stage was just not that. I don't know what the critics are talking about. How was your evening?
It's more eventful than yours, I feel.
Oh?
I didn't get the nap, so.
Oh well,
that's unfortunate.
You should rest. I'll head back down to the tap room and grab a bite, and you can get yourself a little bit of rest, and I'll bring you up a drink whenever you wake up, and then we can figure out what to do today. Any chance that you're ready to head back and talk to who?
There's a possibility of that. I'd like to get some more information about him and what he wants / expects from me.
Brilliant. Well, once you're ready, all you got to do is let me know, and I can. Well, he has this thing where he always seems to be aware whenever one of us is ready to come home, home. I say home. I don't know that is necessarily really what it is, but you know what I mean. He'll find us.
Fair enough. Thank you for doing that on such short notice. I do appreciate it.
Oh, for sure. It's really easy, and got a bit of a nap in. The bites that they've got at this playhouse, the golden feather. Well, I had to snatch a few, but top notch. I wouldn't say quite as good as what they've got here, but still pretty good.
I will be happy to relay that to the staff. I'm sure they will be happy to know that their cuisine is reputed to be better than that of the fine cuisine at the Golden Feather.
Oh, sure. Maybe make the review a bit anonymous, though. Well, I don't want anybody to get in trouble. I only had to pick like 3 locks to get in, and if it's supposed to be an upscale place, I'd expect their security to be a little bit better. But anyway,
obviously,
I'll let you get some rest, and I'll come check on you in a few hours, and we'll maybe get some lunch, and then get about our day.
All right. After he leaves, where is my bed in relation to the door?
You tell me. You can. It's not bolted to the floor or anything like that, so you can move it around if you need it to be different in a different place.
I'd like to move it slightly apart from the wall, so that I can lay on the ground on the other side of the bed, in between the bed and the wall, so that if somebody pops into the door, it doesn't look like I'm there.
Oh,
I'm a little bit uneasy by the wardens and their insistence on things, so I don't feel quite comfortable sleeping.
great. All right, that's easy enough for you to do. So you're a big guy, so you can wrestle the bed out away from the wall a little bit and make yourself a space.
And because I am uneasy, I will also sleep with my sword at my side, easily accessible.
Okay.
And then I will go to sleep because I am tired.
Great. You can get some rest. Go ahead and make me a Constitution saving throw.
Where is my thing? It disappeared. Well, that's quite annoying. Un momento, por favor.
In the meantime, while we're waiting for that, Alanere, do you have any plans other than just to go up to your room and go to bed?
No, he's just gonna go get some rest.
Okay. Ooh. What is that?
I
Sprout?
I did not. That was a 7.
That was a 7. Okay. 7 on the Constitution save. Got it.
Are you sure it's a Constitution save, or more is it a Constitution fail? I feel like that's a fail.
Probably not great.
Alanere, why don't you go ahead and make me a Constitution save as well?
I didn't drink anything, so that's interesting. Alright, give me just a second.
I ate, but I didn't drink any alcohol.
Alright, that is a 23 total.
Great.
We did stay up all night, so it might be exhaustion. That's
That's
right.
true.
Indeed. Sprout, I need for you to take 1 level of exhaustion for me.
1 level of exhaustion.
And then we'll come back across town to Eldrick. So within an hour or so of the your companions taking their leave, the carriage will return. But in the meantime, is there anything in particular that you and Makaria are going to do?
I will
Go ahead.
personally cast non-detection upon myself
Okay.
after the meeting, and then seek out Eldrick to see if he has any thoughts.
Well, I suspect that Eldrick hasn't let you out of his sight since the others left. The game plan would be to arrange for you to stay in the guest room right there by the room we were in. He's going to have a guard posted on each of your doors, just because that's standard protocol, or at least that's what he's telling you. He would ask that you don't. Well, anyway, so when you guys get to talking, because you're obviously waiting for Makaria to show up, Eldrick will say, "I would appreciate if you wouldn't wander the grounds or the house. If you need to get some fresh air, if you head down these stairs and out that way, bring one of your guards with you. I'd appreciate. That way, let's just say the staff isn't necessarily accustomed to someone like you staying here. I'd hate for there to be any misunderstandings."
Of course, and she goes and takes your arm and makes sure it's wrapped under hers and taps, a whole staff to see.
Oh my.
All right.
All right. Well, Eldrick will show around the room. He's going to leave the doors open so no weird wackadoo stuff gets assumed by anybody, because that would be unfortunate.
Well, it is morning again, and the servants are all a tizzy working towards the preparations for tomorrow's gala or the ball. You cannot help, if you're walking arm in arm with Makaria, you can't help but notice looks specifically from some of the other servants, less so with the guards. The guards don't make any noticeable. Well, they don't. If they're noticing this in any particular way, they're not. You don't notice it. I need to find another word rather than just notice. But definitely, you get maybe not open-mouthed staring necessarily, but people who will very, very clearly stop and look as the two of you are walking arm in arm.
Eldrick looks a little uncomfortable about this, but he's a gentleman, so he's not gonna like shove her away or anything like that. I assume so. He'll escort her down to some whatever form of breakfast it is that exists on this fine day.
Well, wouldn't you know it? Whenever you make it to the Great Hall, the first person to notice the two of you come in is the Lady Madeline Oaks herself.
Yes, I'm sure.
Is sitting at the table in already regal and very well put together, despite the hour. And she is enjoying breakfast. There are a handful of servants that are attending her. Master Holy is there, and he is engaged in very quiet conversation as he stands by her side, likely just catching her up on the what is going on in the manor this morning. And she, apart from being very, very well put together, looking like the Lady Madeline Oaks you expect, she looks tired. Very tired. Similar to the first morning you spent here, Eldrick. Oh, Makaria, you've returned. She takes a moment to take in the appearance of the two of you together, and pauses for a moment as though to kind of her eyes kind of flitting from Makaria to you, Eldrick, and there's a question in her gaze.
Eldrick just shakes his head with a little subtle no, and then gestures for Makaria to take a seat.
Well,
Your son has been so nice to offer protection, wanting me by his side 24 hours a day.
Is that right?
Well, not incorrect. The wardens asked after Makaria, and I felt it best if I kept an eye on her for them.
The wardens? Oh. She looks a little alarmed at that, but she covers it very quickly.
They have a thing against, what did they say it was, Eldrick, my deformity?
They don't like
their words.
They don't like people that look like her, as many in our country don't. But you're well aware of that, Mother. Are you okay on this fine morning? He'll ask to his mother.
Well, I certainly am now. Join me for breakfast, the two of you both, please. Did you sleep well? There's a little bit of a playful lilt in her voice as she asks.
If only we both had the chance, I'm sure.
Our meeting with our companions went pretty late into the night. I had Bob and Gregory on the guest room doors to make sure that Makaria felt secure as I retired to my room. He gives his mom this look like, I know what you're playing at, but we ain't going there.
She pouts a little, only for you, Eldrick. But then it returns to her usual genteel, smiling self. Well, I suppose it can't be helped. Protection, though, are the you said you met with wardens. What's that? I have to admit, I'm a little bit confused. What do you have? What business do you have with the wardens?
Well, Makaria is of a certain heritage, and I think, as you're aware, our country is a little iffy on that situation, and so the wardens have questions.
Oh, but they can't. They can't be wary of her. Who could be? And she reaches out for Makaria's hands, and and takes them and kind of pulls you in, not close like for an embrace, but pulls you in close and kind of pushes you into a chair, Makaria. Surely you explain to them that Makaria is nothing for them to be worried about. She's a guest in your home, Eldrick. As Baron, you should really go and speak to their High Marshal. Do you? She kind of looks to Holy. I'll write a letter. I'll write a letter this very morning. What was his name again?
Eldrick will raise his hand to his mother. Hold on there.
No, I won't hear of it, Eldrick. If these people
absolutely intend to go speak with the High Marshal on this very fine day about exactly this subject. So no need for you to write one of your legendary page turners.
And to be fair, Madam Oaks, I did happen to suggest the wrong thing at the wrong time, but it did work out. But it might have got us in a little bit of trouble.
Oh, well then, I suppose.
Suggest you say. Real quick side question here.
Yeah.
To break the where is Makaria? Did she actually arrive last night?
She hasn't. No. So this is literally within minutes after the carriage taking off with your friends. You've got about an hour.
I guess. Okay. Understood.
And that seems to mollify Madeline a little bit. That maybe the warden's interest in Makaria wasn't entirely unfounded and just being mean and racist, because she just happens to have red skin and horns and a tail and those types of things.
Even though that's exactly what.
Even though that is exactly the reason, she's allowing for that to. She allows her momentary outburst to kind of subside and her anger to not so much evaporate, but to get back a bit under control. She kind of looks at Durbin, and he looks back at her, and he seems to be questioning, and she just kind of gives a little bit of a shake of her head, as though the idea that she was going to go off on one of her tirades via correspondence is unlikely at least at this juncture.
Real quick for just a second, what is Makaria dressed in, and is the crown of energy above her visible right now? Because
the crown
I want to
is
see
not
the
visible.
picture here. What is she wearing?
Let's see. It would be her normal clothes at this moment, because she ordered her clothes with Makaria to be delivered. So it'd still be her normal white with gold trim, probably cleaner.
Okay. I was just for a half second, I was picturing this scene with like two very obviously Victorian era type people, Eldrick and Madeline, and then Makaria with her friggin' crown of glowing black energy and her red skin and her purple eyes and her friggin' like, I don't know, some kind of crazy Cruella de Vil kind of thing. But white and gold trim is certainly not that, so that works out pretty good.
All I will say further on the matter is that Eldrick, and my apologies, but this sort of thing is something that you will need to learn as you continue to work toward the assumption of your duties as Baron. Every interaction with people, be they common or highborn, is a lesson. A lesson for you, to be sure, but also a lesson for them. The way that you interact with these people, the way that you allow them to treat you, teaches them a lesson of how you will allow them to treat you. If you need to have a firm hand with these people, even wardens, or they will walk all over you. And if this man, this warden fellow, whoever he is, I assume he's a man, you never said, but it sounds like a man. If this man is maligning your companion, our companion, Makaria, in this very home, in this very house, well, that is something that you simply cannot allow to stand.
Fear not, mother, I told him off in the most stern and aggressive manner with which I know.
Of course you did, because you're my boy. And she kind of pats you on the cheek.
They may return for a follow-up meeting, just so you are aware.
Oh, we will certainly be ready. And she kind of gives Makaria a look, and there's a little bit of a smile and a fire in her eyes. It says, "Expect mischief."
Makaria just grins a little bit and hides it after a second.
No more talk of unpleasantness. Then let's just enjoy our breakfast, and you can tell me about the rest of your. You said you had a meeting with your companions. Are they here as well?
No, they did not spend the evening. They returned to the inn last night. Well, I guess moments ago, really. It was a long meeting. It was an eventful evening. But they are well. They are well. Thoros'l is as verbose as he always is, which is to say not. Alanere, ever the good counsel, and Sprout continues to be tall.
Sprout wasn't here during the dinner. I should very much like to meet.
That's true. You haven't met our. I believe he's said he is a furbog. He is quite the big gentleman.
Very interesting. I should very much like to meet this Sprout. Will he be in attendance tomorrow?
I surely hope so. I will make sure he knows that he is invited.
You said he is a furry what?
Said he is something called a furbog. I assume that Eldrick has never met a furbog other than Sprout. Yeah.
That is probably correct.
Yeah. So, anyway, he is. He's a character. I think you'll like him.
Well, if he's anything like the rest of your companions, I'm certain that is true. Is there any accommodations that we need to make for him? I know you have your elven companions, and we've made special preparations for them as far as dietary considerations. Anything additional for your friend? You have to let me know these things, Eldrick.
Nothing that I'm aware of. My understanding is that he's racked up quite the tab at the bar. So, as long as he got libations for him, I suspect he'll be good to go.
I'm a big guy. I like mead. Don't judge me.
So
Maybe a larger than usual cup wouldn't hurt his feelings.
Madeline turns toward Holy, and Holy is immediately chimes in with well, I have already met this gentleman, and I can assure you that preparations are being made. Madeline smiles at that, and conversation.
Master Holy, always prepared.
Conversation can continue on from there, but it'll be light, and mostly Madeline talking through some more of the details, and Holy just standing there absorbing information as she throws out additional ideas as you continue to talk. We have received quite a number of responses, and well, it promises to be quite the turnout. The High Lords from Morov are either all going to be in attendance or are sending delegations. We have acceptances from all of the flag officers from the Bloodstone military, though I have a mind to disinvite that odious Marshal Killian of the Wardens now.
No need.
The leaders of all of the major churches in Heliogabalus are planning to attend, and quite a number of the higher-ranking members of the guilds and the government. This will be the occasion of the season. And why shouldn't it be? It's not every day that your baby boy becomes baron of an entire province.
Would be a rare occasion, I suspect.
Well, why don't you leave the remaining preparations to me? I'm certain that you have much to do. And about this time, you see Kemet Narble come in with a somewhat urgent look on his face. Holy goes to meet him. Holy comes back. Narble leaves. Your package has arrived, Master Oks. You'll find it in the drawing room.
Okay.
The lady has some special interest in this as well, I understand.
Well, Mother, if you'll excuse us, I think we have to go figure out what package has arrived.
Oh, don't let me keep you. Much to plan, much to continue to do. Shall I see you for dinner?
Oh, absolutely.
And you as well, Makaria?
I would be delighted.
Excellent. Well, don't you two be going off getting into too much trouble together. And I'll see you at dinner time.
Makaria, if you could head to the drawing room, I have a couple of questions to ask my mother in private, if you don't mind.
And I will follow the butler.
Holy will.
Oh yeah.
Will escort you, indeed.
Eldrick will kind of scoot in towards his mother and ask, "Did you have the nightmares again?"
She flinches. How? Well, I guess I've. She kind of chuckles to herself. Is it so obvious? Is it the lines again? I told that girl to make sure that those were covered.
I've known you a long time. I don't think she did bad work.
I can't keep anything from you, though, can I? Yes, Eldrick.
I doubt that's a true statement, but certainly not this.
Yes, Eldrick. It was. My sleep was not as restful as I would have hoped, and yes, it was nightmares again.
Will you tell me what they were?
I wish I could. I know only that. Well, they were not pleasant. I don't remember much in the way of details. Lots of. Could you do me a favor? Hold on, just one moment. She calls over. What's the name? Chill, my lady. Chill comes over. The servant that you had run into is one of Madeline's personal handmaidens. Could you go to the family? Where is it? Could you go to the family den and retrieve the second painting on the northern wall? Shill looks a little.
Hell of a detailed instruction.
Weird request.
It is an odd request, and Shill reacts similarly. She's like, Madeline says, I understand it's strange, but I need to show my son something. Retrieve the painting for me, bring it here. She'll very hastily bows, bobs, as a common servant does whenever a strange request is made by her noble patroness, and she disappears into the hallway leading to the family drawing room. Moments later, she comes back with this very large painting that Eldrick, I don't know if you recall having seen this one before, but you did do quite a thorough sweep of the house recently.
Yep.
But she brings back a painting and kind of bobs and bows, and she hands it over, and you can see that it is a cityscape. It appears to be the city of Heliogabalus, viewed almost as though from above, and it is entirely alight in green flame. And Madeline is a little pale, and she's like, this I remember.
We're out of character for a half second.
Sure.
I can't remember if I remember seeing this painting or if she described this same thing last time I asked her about her nightmares, but I do remember
you had this dream.
Helio and green flames.
You had this dream.
Oh, I had this dream. Of course I did.
3 nights
because
ago.
giggles. Excellent. Fantastic. Just what I wanted to hear.
And that is where we are going to call tonight's session, because it's just after 10, and there's no better place to leave off than on green flame. If I've learned anything from Chris Perkins. Yeah. Anywho.
Oh my, that's a perfect spot too.
Thanks to everybody who came out tonight. I see that there are a couple of new viewers out there. If you enjoyed what you have seen, make sure to drop us a follow so you get notifications whenever we go live. Our D&D game, the one that you just watched, is every Tuesday, or at least it is intended for every Tuesday. We've missed quite a few this summer. But
yeah, we're kind of doing every other right now.
Right now, it's kind of been
every Tuesday that we do it.
Every Tuesday that we'll do it, we'll be here. But Tuesdays at 8 p.m., come back for more Bloodstone. If you're interested in League of Legends, we do Apocalypse streams on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, where 3 of us, myself, Souls, occasionally Zale, and the other of the 4 dads, Mr. I Smell Olives, get together and play League of Legends with our viewers. If that's your thing, we definitely would love for you to come and join us for that as well. I mentioned at the start of the stream, there's no live stream coming this Saturday. We might run a rerun or something like that. Maybe run this one or something like that. I'm not really certain yet. But Thursday and Friday this week, come back for Apocalypse action. Come back and see us next Tuesday for some more Bloodstone, episode 18. We'll pick up right where we left off here and try to figure out, I guess, what the meaning of all this really is pointing to. Perhaps we will even.
It's doppelgangers.
Per-
All doppelgangers.
Perhaps even we will make it to the Baron
The
Mitzvah.
entire
I'm very excited about the Baron Mitzvah. Yes.
We've been hyping up the Baron Mitzvah for 17 full episodes now. I can't wait till we actually get to it, and it's going to be something else, guys. It really is. There's going to be a lot of people there. A lot of high mucky mucks in the Bloodstone Kingdom are going to be in attendance now, and
You better be ready to copy and paste some names, because otherwise I'm butchering this stuff in my notes, man. It's gonna be all Jerichus, and I guarantee
we're left
Joffrey's
turning
name
this.
is not. What's that?
We're gonna get right to the door and just turn around and walk the other way.
it wouldn't be the
Nah,
first
man.
time. Would not be
Nah,
the
man,
first
you-
time.
You walk in, you put your hand on the left wall, and you just follow it until you get to the exit.
Thanks
Oh, I
again.
got some people I want to talk to. Yeah.
Thanks again to everybody who came out tonight. We hope you enjoyed it. I know we certainly did. We will see you on Thursday for Air Apocalypse, and we'll see you next Tuesday for more Bloodstone. Good night.
Absolutely. Have a good
night, all.
night.
There's
See it easy.